Chapter 156. Without waiting for Su Yiyan to react, the other party sent a bunch of flattering farts over. Mountain without him, 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 mountain without him. The mountain without him, 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 mountain without also. Yin Yin, the soup you made today was especially delicious, and the dishes were also very delicious. Especially that fish, it was fragrant and fresh, and could be said to be perfect in terms of appearance, smell, and taste. Then, this person used 300 words to write a short essay describing the delicious taste of the fish in all aspects. The original intention was to let Su Yiyan realize the high value of the fish, and not give it away casually. It was a pity that Su Yiyan's focus was a little off. After the initial surprise, he narrowed his eyes and followed up with a question. Yin, have you tried the soup I made? Is it the matsutake, pigeon egg and sea cucumber soup? Hua Chenhuan was stunned when she saw this sentence. Su Yiyan had made 2 soups today. Poria and pigeon soup and matsutake, pigeon egg and sea cucumber soup. Before this, she had emphasized that 3 of the dishes today were medicinal cuisines for patients with kidney disease, and one of them was for premature ovarian failure. Although Su Yiyan did not mention anything about the treatment of the soup, the ingredients used in the other 3 dishes all mentioned kidney problems. It was self-evident what the main treatment of this soup was. Hua Chenhuan, who was inexplicably diagnosed with premature ovarian failure, was speechless. However, President Hua, whose brain had short-circuited, did not consider that not only men could get kidney disease, but women could also get kidney disease. When he saw the word kidney, he naturally thought that men had a higher chance of getting it, and his current avatar was a young lady. In order to protect herself well, Hua Chenhuan endured the humiliation and replied, yes. When Su Yiyan saw this reply, she almost couldn't hold back her laughter. Yin, I see. Can you describe the taste of this soup? Didn't you say it was delicious? Hua Chenhuan. A certain someone once again experienced what it meant to lift a rock only to drop it on one's own foot. He braced himself and pieced together another 300-word article about the experience of eating delicacies. Seeing this, Su Yiyan almost laughed out loud. However, after laughing, Su Yiyan was even more curious as to why this person's demeanor had suddenly changed. Yin, are you me? Mountain without the mountain without the mountain. Why do you ask? Yin, you weren't so talkative before. Hua Chenhuan's heart skipped a beat. Mountain the future. Then do you like the current me or the previous me? Yin, I can't say which one I like. I'm just curious about what you've been through. Hua Chenhuan was silent for a moment, but she still answered truthfully. Mulberry the mountain. Someone told me that as a fan, if you don't know how to flatter someone, you're not qualified. Su Yiyan couldn't help but laugh again. She was suddenly curious about who said that. What a talent. Gu Xiaoyang, who had just finished his work and was rushing to the old house, suddenly felt a chill on his back and an itch on the tip of his nose. He sneezed loudly several times in a row. What's going on? Is someone talking about me behind my back? Yin, so you went to research how to flatter someone. Mulberry the mountain. Yes. Yin, did you come up with all that just now? Mulberry the mountain. Most of it was taken from other people and pieced together. Su Yiyan narrowed her eyes, a trace of slyness flashing across her eyes. Yin, oh, so your love for me is all based on other people's things and piecing them together. It felt so perfunctory and a little sad. Chapter 157. As expected, Hua Chenhuan panicked when she saw the message. For a moment, she even forgot that she was chatting with Su Yiyan as an ordinary fan in the live broadcast room. Mulberry without mountain. No. Mulberry without mountain. I didn't mean to patronize you. Mulberry without mountain. I'm too stupid. I can't say anything nice, so I have to borrow other people's flattery. Hua Chenhuan sent several messages in a row. It was obvious that she was really nervous. Su Yiyan stopped when she was ahead and continued to guide her. Yin, I don't like to hear any fancy words. I only want to hear the truth. Mulberry without mountain. Got it. Yin so? Hua Chenhuan frowned slightly and stared at this reply for a long time. Finally, she blushed slightly and typed 2 simple words. Mulberry without mountain. Love you. This time it was Su Yiyan's turn to be stunned. It was obviously a simple word, but it was unexpectedly seductive. Su Yiyan's face was slightly red, and the corners of her lips couldn't help but curl upward, giving a certain someone great affirmation. Yen. Yes, this sentence is the best. Knowing that the other party didn't know his true identity, and most likely thought that he was a girl, Hua Chenhuan couldn't help but be seduced by these words. After being stunned for a moment, she remembered her original intention, which was to conscientiously test the enemy's situation. Mulberry without mountain. What is the streamer doing now? Is she packing the braised fish? This was the second time Hua Chenhuan mentioned the fish. Even if Su Yiyan was slow, she could feel that something was wrong. Moreover, this sentence pattern was very familiar. Not long ago, Hua Chenhuan had used the same sentence pattern to ask her what she was doing at the hospital. So after all this time, this guy saw that she made a fish for Ning Chirui and was jealous again? Su Yiyan couldn't help but laugh. She wanted to tease him again. Yen, I just gave the fish to the delivery man to send to the patient. Mountain you mountain. Oh. Su Yiyan didn't know if it was an illusion or not, but she heard a little bit of resentment in that short "oh." It was full of jealousy. Yen, I'm cooking now. Mountain without the 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 life yen. The live stream just now was about making medicinal cuisine for patients. Now I'm making daily meals for my parents and my husband. It's different. Hubby. Hua Chenhuan's face reddened from the tip of her ears to the base of her neck at a speed visible to the naked eye. Dundun, who had been hiding in the corner playing with a ball, chased the ball and ran to Hua Chenhuan's feet. When he looked up and saw this scene, all the hair on his body stood on end. He cautiously and curiously circled the wheelchair a few times. What's wrong with this dog's father? His face could even change color. Hua Chenhuan didn't notice Dundun's strange behavior. When the heat on her face subsided a little, she changed her sour and resentful tone, and replied in a good mood. Mountain you mountain. Then you're busy. I won't disturb you anymore. The small wave at the end was called a ripple. It was obvious how happy someone was in her heart now. Su Yiyan's eyes flashed with a smile. Although this guy was a vinegar jar, he was really easy to coax. He was like a kitten. He was easily irritated, but as long as you stroked his fur, he would immediately hold on to your hand and meow softly. Su Yiyan had no resistance to this at all. Chapter 158. At that moment, Ning Chirui, who had no idea that he had just escaped death, was lying on the hospital bed in the VIP ward, thinking about life with a serious expression. After Su Yiyan left, Ning Siyuan sent everyone away, and asked about the conflict between Ning Chirui and Su Yiyan. Ning Chirui naturally could not say anything because he really did not have any conflict with Su Yiyan. The one who really had a conflict with her was Wen Jingping. At first, Ning Chirui was a little reluctant to talk about it, but later, he was really forced into a corner, so he accidentally mentioned Wen Jingping. Ning Siyuan had heard of Wen Jingping before, so he continued to interrogate him. Ning Chirui was young and inexperienced, so he was no match for his older brother. It did not take long for him to be defeated and had to confess. So you had a conflict with Miss Su because of Wen Jingping? Oh no, that's not called a conflict. That's called you running up to her one-sidedly, but she couldn't be bothered with you. Ning Chirui was a little embarrassed and he shouted angrily, Brother! It's no use calling me brother. Tell me honestly, what did she tell you? She said that she and Hua Xiaofeng were in love, and they were engaged before Hua Xiaofeng and Miss Su got engaged. Hua Xiaofeng's parents disliked her family background, and thought that she was not good enough for Hua Xiaofeng, so they took the initiative and arranged for him to get engaged to Miss Su. After Hua Xiaofeng found out about this, he also wanted to break off the engagement, but Miss Su already had feelings for him. Not only was she unwilling to let them be together, but she also considered herself the legal wife and went to their school to cause trouble for her. Ning Siyuan's face darkened and he sneered. What she meant was that she and He Xiaofeng were in love, and Miss Su was the third party in their relationship. It was only because of the engagement that Miss Su became He Xiaofeng's fiancée, so she had no choice but to be the third party? Ning Qiruwei glanced at his brother's expression and did not dare to answer. Ning Siyuan took a deep breath and continued to ask, "How did she explain to you that He Xiaofeng took her to the Su family and asked to break off the engagement in public some time ago?" She said that He Xiaofeng had asked his parents and the Su family to break off the engagement several times, but there was no result. His parents even threatened to lock him up at home until the two of them were married if he dared to mention breaking off the engagement again. They really had no choice but to make a big fuss at the birthday banquet to force the Su family to agree to break off the engagement. How could you believe this kind of nonsense? Ning Siyuan finally couldn't hold it in any longer and shouted, panting heavily, "How can you believe everything she says? Do you even have a brain? How many times did I tell you when you left home? What you see may not be the truth, and what you hear may not be the truth. You have to think of a way to distinguish and investigate on your own. You don't want to be coaxed by a few casual words like this." Ning Qiruwei shrunk his neck and muttered indignantly, "Brother, how do you know that what she said must be false?" Chapter 159. Ning Qiruwei was dumbfounded. It took him a while to find his voice. He mumbled, Maybe they knew each other before this, and just got back together this year?" Ning Siyuan sneered. "Okay, even if that's the case. She said that Miss Su went to her school to cause trouble. If Miss Su really went to look for her in a public place like the school, there must be someone who saw it, right? Have you checked it out?" Ning Qiruwei choked and looked guilty. Ning Siyuan sighed and said helplessly, "You said that Miss Su has feelings for him and the Su family is unwilling to annul the marriage." He Xiaofeng's parents also looked down on Miss Wen's family background and insisted that He Xiaofeng marry Miss Su. That's why they had no choice but to annul the marriage in public. But according to my people's investigation, He Xiaofeng's parents might have done these things, but the Su family would never compromise. Compromise? Why? Because family He begged the Su family to agree to this marriage. If it weren't for the fact that Miss Su's mother and Mrs. He were old friends, the Su family wouldn't even want to marry family He. How could they know that He Xiaofeng had someone else in his heart and wanted to annul the marriage and still refuse? Ning Qiruwei was stunned. His heart had already started to waver, but he still said in a low voice, "So Jingping was deceived?" Ning Siyuan was almost angered to death by his stupid brother. He had been in the business world for many years and had seen all kinds of people. Ning Qiruwei had just mentioned it casually, but Ning Siyuan had already seen through Miss Wen's character. Even if there were some small discrepancies in the details, the events in the past few months had caused so many messy things. If one were to say that Miss Wen was truly ignorant of everything and was untainted like a white lotus in its prime, he really wouldn't believe it. His poor stupid brother was deceived and still helped count the money. He was so stupid. Is it her or you who was deceived? Think about it yourself. After saying that, Ning Siyuan left without looking back. If he stayed any longer, he was afraid that he would be so angry that he would forget Ning Qiruwei's illness and beat him up with his own hands. After Ning Siyuan left, Ning Qiruwei fell into an indecisive contemplation. His rationality told him that his brother would not lie to him. There might really be something wrong with Wen Jingping. However, there was always a voice in his head telling him to believe in Wen Jingping. Even if someone was lying, it might not be her. At this moment, Ning Qiruwei received a call from Wen Jingping. "Brother Qiruwei, how have you been? You haven't contacted me for a few days. Are you busy?" Ning Qiruwei listened to the familiar gentle greeting, and his mood was a little complicated. He whispered, "I've been sick recently." "Sick? Is it serious?" "Fortunately, it's already under treatment." "That's good." "Yes." Ning Qiruwei responded and did not say anything else. The conversation between the two also became cold. Wen Jingping frowned and felt a little depressed. In the past, when they chatted, Ning Qiruwei was always very enthusiastic. He would take the initiative to talk about his recent schedule and some things that happened at work. There had never been such an awkward silence. Wen Jingping had planned to listen to Ning Qirui's complaints and try to lead him to ask about her recent situation. Then she would reveal the things on the internet to him and let him take the initiative to ask for help. Chapter 160. Wen Jingping was already anxious because of all the things that had happened in the past few days. Even though she knew that Ning Qirui was most likely her only hope now, she still felt suffocated. Her tone unconsciously revealed a little impatience. I happen to be free these 2 days. Brother Qirui, which hospital are you in now? Can I come and see you? If Wen Jingping had taken the initiative to look for him, Ning Qirui would have been more than happy to take the initiative to arrange all kinds of things for her, and even send someone to pick her up in person. If the reporters outside took pictures of them, it would inevitably create some news. However, he had just been scolded by his elder brother, and his mind was still a little muddled. When he heard Wen Jingping's words, he suddenly felt a little uncomfortable and refused without thinking. Forget it. The smell of the hospital is heavy, and there are many people. It's not convenient for you to come over. Although he said that, Ning Qirui still had a little thought in his heart. He thought that if Wen Jingping really cared about him, she would not care about this inconvenience, and would definitely want to come and see him. But if she was just being polite, then Wen Jingping, who did not know Ning Qirui's thoughts, was slightly relieved when she heard his words. She pretended to be regretful and said, "Okay then. Let's meet again when you recover, Brother Qirui." Ning Qirui's heart suddenly turned cold. He frowned slightly and continued, "Then we may have to wait for a long time." "A long time?" Wen Jingping was taken aback. "Didn't you just say that it's not serious?" "It's not serious, but it's more troublesome to treat and will take some time." "How long will it take?" "At least 1 or 2 years." "So long." Wen Jingping's face suddenly changed. "Then, Brother Qirui, what about your work during this time?" Ning Qirui narrowed his eyes. As his brother said, he was stupid, but not hopelessly stupid. He was still sick, but a certain someone didn't care about what kind of illness it was that would take a year or 2 to recover. She didn't care about his current physical condition, what kind of pain he would experience during the treatment process, or whether he needed someone to accompany him. Instead, she only cared about his illness, whether he could still complete his job, and whether he could continue to stay in this industry. For a moment, Ning Qirui suspected that the person who was talking to him was not his friend, but a boss who prioritized the company's interests. "There's nothing we can do about it. Since we're sick, we can only put down our work. The company didn't make things difficult for me, but I'm afraid I won't be able to stay in the entertainment industry for the next year or 2. As soon as Ning Qirui said this, Wen Jingping's heart skipped a beat. The entertainment industry looked glamorous, but it was actually very fickle. Ning Qirui was a popular newcomer promoted by their company. He seemed to have a bright future, but if he really did not show up for 2 years, how many people would remember him? He didn't have any representative works to begin with, and the fans that he attracted with his face alone weren't solid either. In this world, there was no one who couldn't survive without another. After 2 years, how much traffic could Ning Qirui attract when he appeared in front of the public again? In Wen Jingping's view, Ning Qirui was now a useless pawn of his management company. Could this worthless pawn still help her? Wen Jingping's face was ashen, and she even had some resentment toward Ning Qirui in her heart. Why did he have to get sick at this time of all times? Chapter 161. Ning Qirui waited for a long time, but Wen Jingping did not respond. The coldness in his eyes intensified. "Let's not talk about me. How have you been recently? Is work going well?" Ning Qirui's words successfully pulled Wen Jingping out of her twisted negative emotions. She barely managed to calm herself down and said in distress, "It's not going very well." When Ning Qirui heard her words, he vaguely guessed something. He raised his eyebrows slightly and asked calmly, "Did something happen?" "Actually, it's not a big deal. It's just that someone on the same website copied my recipes after watching my live stream and became famous. Originally, I didn't want to make things too difficult for her, so I only posted a post to persuade her to stop such infringement. I didn't expect this person to have such a strong background. Now many people on the internet are scolding me, and the program team is also. Wen Jingping's words were sad and aggrieved. If it were any other day, Ning Qiruwei would have comforted her with heartache. But today, Ning Qiruwei was silent for a moment and asked in a low voice, "Does Hu Xiaofeng know about this?" Xiaofeng? Wen Jingping was stunned. Usually this person would not ask her this question. Xiaofeng has been busy recently, so I don't want to bother him with such trivial matters. You don't want to bother him, so you use it to bother me? Ning Qiruwei suddenly felt a little annoyed. Oh. Wen Jingping was dumbfounded. Just an oh. Usually at times like this, you are very enthusiastic, right? Without waiting for Wen Jingping to think more, Ning Qiruwei asked calmly, "By the way, you told me before that Hu Xiaofeng had to break off the engagement with Miss Su in public because the Su family was unwilling to break off the engagement. Did he tell you this? Or did you guess it yourself?" "Brother Qiruwei, why are you suddenly asking this? Did someone tell you something? How do you know that someone told me something? Can't I be curious?" "That's not what I meant. So which one is it?" "He told me, and I saw it with my own eyes." "Then, you said that Miss Su went to your school to make trouble for you. Was it in public, or was there anyone around?" Wen Jingping did not understand why Ning Qiruwei suddenly asked about this, but it did not stop her from feeling guilty. "She said she wanted to talk to me alone, so. Is there no one around?" "Yeah. I understand." The warmth in Ning Qiruwei's eyes completely dissipated, and he already had a conclusion in his heart. Wen Jingping could not see Ning Qiruwei's expression, but her intuition told her that something was leaving her. She was inexplicably flustered. "Qiruwei, it's time for my treatment. I'll contact you next time." After Ning Qiruwei finished speaking, he did not wait for Wen Jingping's reaction, and directly ended the call. Wen Jingping listened to the busy tone, and took a while to react. Did Ning Qiruwei hang up on her? Her last hope was shattered, and Wen Jingping could no longer suppress the anger in her heart. She flipped the table next to her. "You usually say nice things, but when it comes to critical moments, none of you can be relied on. None of you can be relied on." Wen Jingping threw everything she could get her hands on, and her face became crazier and more twisted. The gentleness she had when she was talking to Ning Qiruwei on the phone just now was nowhere to be seen. Ning Qiruwei hung up the phone and felt that he was a fool for feeling sorry for someone during this period of time. Chapter 162. Yang Jinyu arrived at this time. When he saw this scene, he thought that Ning Qiruwei had given up on himself because of his illness, so he quickly stepped forward to stop him. "What are you doing? Even if you're sick, you can't give up on yourself. Aren't there doctors around? There will always be a way." Ning Qiruwei was slightly startled and looked at Yang Jinyu in surprise. "Why are you here?" Yang Jinyu saw that Ning Qiruwei did not do anything drastic, so he breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. "I sent you a few messages, but you didn't reply, so I knew something might have happened to you. When I called, it was your agent who answered. He told me that you were sick and are now in the hospital, so I rushed over." Yang Jinyu glanced at Ning Qiruwei cautiously as he spoke. Before he came, he had roughly learned about Ning Qiruwei's condition from Ning Qiruwei's agent, and knew that it was a serious illness that could become serious if he was not careful. Because of this, when he saw Ning Qiruwei pounding the bed, his first reaction was to think that Ning Qiruwei was worried about his illness. "Don't worry. Since we already know about your condition, we will definitely find a treatment soon, and let you get better as soon as possible." Okay. Ning Qiruwei had not recovered from the huge shock that the gentle girl he liked was actually a beautiful snake full of lies. His whole body was a little weak. Yang Jinyu saw that he was getting more and more anxious, and a hint of struggle flashed in his eyes. He gritted his teeth and said, "Actually, I came here today to tell you that if the hospital can't help, you can try medicinal cuisine." Medicinal cuisine? Ning Qiruwei felt that this term was a little familiar. Well, not long ago, a friend of mine also had a relatively difficult illness. He saw many doctors, but they all said that there was no way. Later, by chance he drew a medicinal cuisine in a live broadcast room, and it really worked after eating it. Yang Jinyu was about to sell it, but when he looked down, he met Ning Chirue's indescribable eyes. What's with your expression? Generally, sentences like my friend and my relative are referring to themselves. Ning Chirue looked at him meaningfully. What's the more difficult illness? Is it because you've been with a lot of women and finally got your retribution? Yang Jinyu did not expect Ning Chirue's mouth to be so poisonous. He hit the nail on the head, and his whole body froze. Ning Chirue just said it casually, but he did not expect Yang Jinyu's expression to change after hearing it. It's true. TSK. I can't believe that the CEO of the Yang Group, the famous playboy in the upper-class circle, can't do it. If this were to spread, it would be big news. Ning Chirue saw that Yang Jinyu's face was green and white, and he looked like he could explode at any time. He quickly restrained his smile and said, "Then continue. After you were impotent, you drew a medicinal cuisine in the live broadcast room. What happened then?" Chapter 163. Your whole body is warm? Ning Chirue's focus was a bit off. He glanced at Yang Jinyu again and said with a half-smile, "So that person is really you. Otherwise, how could you know so clearly?" Yang Jinyu was speechless. As the two were talking, Ning Chirue's agent suddenly opened the door and walked in with 2 heavy lunch boxes in his hands. "Chirue, your dinner is here." "It's so late and you haven't eaten yet?" Yang Jinyu frowned slightly and stepped aside to make room for his agent. The agent skillfully set up the table, opened the lunch boxes, and took out a bowl of soup, porridge, and a fish. As soon as the box was opened, the aroma of the food inside immediately wafted out and spread throughout the ward. Ning Chirue muttered uncomfortably, "It smells quite good." Yang Jinyu was completely dumbfounded. He glanced at the 3 familiar dishes on the table, especially the fish. When watching the live broadcast, he and the other audience members were jealous that the fish would end up in someone's stomach. As a result, this fish appeared so blatantly in front of him and on his good friend's dinner table. This. Yang Jinyu pointed at the fish with a trembling finger, looking like he could faint at any time. Ning Chirue was shocked. "What's wrong with you? Are you having a stroke?" Yang Jinyu wiped his face and slammed the table. "Where did you get this food?" "My brother found a doctor to treat my illness. This food was sent by the doctor. He said that eating it together would be good for my illness." When Yang Jinyu heard this, he finally couldn't help but swear. F***ck. He now felt that he had just exposed his shortcomings and tried to sell benefits to his good friend. It was really stupid. Su Yiyan, who did not know that she had been discovered by the audience and was on the verge of exposing herself, was busy preparing the next few dishes. Considering Hu Chenhuan's taste, Su Yiyan made boiled pork slices, mapo tofu, dry-fried pork ribs, and Sichuan-flavored hoof soup this time. These dishes were the type that had a strong taste. As soon as they were out of the pot, the smell drifted all the way out of the kitchen, attracting the gluttonous worms. When Su Yiyan finished cooking, Mr. Su and the others' necks were almost stiff. Su Yiyan took out a portion of the dishes and packed them up. Then he asked someone to bring the dishes out first. At the fastest speed, he stir-fried the sweet and sour pork and scrambled eggs with tomatoes. Cheng Xiuqin and the others had eaten a lot of spicy boiled fish when she made it last time. They probably liked the taste of this dish. It was just that eating too much spicy food would be a burden to the old man's stomach, so they prepared some other dishes for him to choose from. After doing all this, Su Yiyan didn't have time to eat. She first sent out the packed food. It was Gu Xiaoyang, who was temporarily assigned to take the food. After Su Yiyan handed the food to him, he gave him a bottle of hot drink. "Thank you for your hard work. This is mint tea. Drink some to relieve your nose's discomfort." Gu Xiaoyang was stunned. He had a slight allergic rhinitis. It was fine usually, but when the season changed or the weather was cold, he would sneeze nonstop. His nose was always uncomfortable. Yu Zian and the others knew about this, but he didn't expect Su Yiyan to be so attentive to find out. She even specially prepared a cup of tea for him. Chapter 164. This had nothing to do with Su Yiyan's attentiveness. She only knew that Gu Xiaoyang had rhinitis because she had heard others mention it when she was with Hua Chenhuan in her previous life. In her opinion, anyone who treated Hua Chenhuan well was one of her own. Since he was one of her own, it was no big deal for her to take care of him. After sending Gu Xiaoyang off, Su Yiyan suddenly heard a system notification in her head. Congratulations on snatching the female protagonist's golden finger progress +5. The current progress is 10%. Please continue to work hard and snatch more golden fingers from the female protagonist as soon as possible to change her fate. Su Yiyan suddenly stopped in her tracks and said in surprise, "It increased by 5% all of a sudden? What happened?" She had worked so hard to do live broadcasts and beat up Hua Xiaofeng in the beginning, but she only managed to increase the progress by 5%. After testing, Ning Chirue, who was an important assistant to the female protagonist in the early stage, has deviated from the main plot and indirectly affected the development of the male and female protagonists in the later stage. Therefore, the progress has increased by 5%. Deviated from the main plot means Ning Chirue is no longer the female protagonist's assistant. Just now, he blacklisted the female protagonist after talking to her. Blacklisted? Other than someone who had completely seen Wen Jingping's true colors, Su Yiyan could not think of any other reason that would make this former bootlicker voluntarily blacklist the main character. It was not in vain that I spent so much effort to treat him. At least he realized that he was wrong. Otherwise, no matter how good I am, I can't cure his brain. After sighing, Su Yiyan was in a good mood and hummed a tune as she entered the house. She was not the only one who was in a good mood. Hua Chenhuan looked at the steaming dishes in front of him. At a glance, he could tell that the dishes were prepared according to his taste. He glanced to the side and accurately caught the movements of Yu Zian and the other two's throats. "Does it smell good?" The three of them were stunned and looked at each other stupidly. Yu Zian then replied expectantly, "Yes." Hua Chenhuan nodded solemnly and said, "Yes. Even if it smells good, I won't let you have it. It's all mine." That's it. Yu Zian's head was filled with question marks. This was different from what he had imagined. Hua Chenhuan continued to eat under Yu Zian's resentful gaze with a clear conscience. The spicy boiled meat slices had similar ingredients to the spicy boiled fish, but it lacked the freshness of the fish and had the softness of the steamed meat. It was crisp and tender and went well with rice. The mapo tofu crumbled with a single poke. It could only be scooped up with a spoon and swallowed without chewing. Needless to say, the pork ribs had a slightly spicy meat aroma. Paired with the refreshing cucumber, it made people want to swallow their tongues. Lastly, he drank a mouthful of pork trotters soup. The gelatinous substance of the pork trotters had already melted into the soup. It was fragrant and mellow, and the aftertaste was endless. After Hua Chenhuan tasted the food one by one, she seemed to have thought of something. She raised her head and looked at the three of them. "Have you guys eaten yet?" "Yes." "What are you eating?" Hua Chenhuan was so talkative today that the few of them were a little overwhelmed. Nutrient solution. Nutrient solution. The food was delivered from Chuanyan Restaurant. Chuanyan Restaurant was a famous high-class restaurant in the city. Yu Zian and Gu Xiaoyang immediately glared at the trader who ate all the food by herself. Hua Chenhuan asked excitedly, "Is it as good as Yanyan's food?" "No." Only then did Hua Chenhuan reply contentedly, "Okay." He continued to eat. Chapter 165. The three pitiful bachelors had to watch their young master eat delicious food in the middle of the night. Not only were they drooling, but they were also forced to accept the critical hit from the couple. Fortunately, Su Yiyan gave Gu Xiaoyang a bottle of peppermint tea before she left. It finally soothed a certain someone's heart that was riddled with holes because of his young master. However, as soon as he took it out, the faint fragrance attracted the attention of the two people beside him. "What's that in your hand?" The sharp-eyed Yu Zian could tell that the subtle fragrance came from the thermos flask in Gu Xiaoyang's hand. Gu Xiaoyang did not hide it. He poured a small cup from the flask and drank it. The coolness of the mint paired with the mellowness of the tea was refreshing. His nose, which had been a little stuffy for the past 2 days, seemed to be much better, just as Su Yiyan said. This is mint tea. Miss Su gave it to me. She said that it can relieve the discomfort in my nose. Yu Zian and Yu Zian were stunned when they heard Gu Xiaoyang's words. They looked at each other and said, "How did Miss Su know about your nose?" Maybe young master told her? Perhaps it was because she was observant enough to notice it. Anyway, she knew about it and specially prepared this for me. As a qualified Su boaster, Yu Zian stared at the bottle in Gu Xiaoyang's hand. He was touched and envious. That's great. Our future young madam is really a heartwarming little angel. Not only does she think of young master wholeheartedly, but she also cares about young master's subordinates and makes medicinal cuisine for us. You don't know, but the medicinal cuisine in Miss Su's live streaming room is really priceless now. It's made with freshly cultivated ancient earth herbs. You can't buy it even if you have the money. Yu Zian's eager little eyes were so obvious that it was hard for Gu Xiaoyang to ignore it. After hesitating for a moment, he poured a small cup and handed it to Yu Zian. Try it. Yu Zian's eyes lit up. He took the half cup of mint tea and drank it carefully. After he was done, he sighed with satisfaction. It's delicious. Zui Yanbai was not very interested in the tea. Now that he saw the two of them like this, he was interested and took the initiative to ask, "What about me?" Gu Xiaoyang immediately took 2 steps back with the bottle in his arms. He waved his hand and said in disdain, "Go away, go away. You still have the nerve to say that. We were so busy today that we even drank nutrient solutions for dinner. You, on the other hand, ordered takeout from a high-end restaurant and ate it all by yourself." Yu Zian echoed, "That's right, traitor. If you don't let me drink, I'll tell young master. Think about it. If young master knows that Miss Su specially made a bottle of tea for you, what will the consequences be?" Gu Xiaoyang's expression stiffened. Young master is not that stingy. Young master is indeed generous in other aspects, but when it comes to Miss Su, you know. UB*TCH. What they didn't know was that the young master, whom they thought was very stingy, didn't return to his room immediately after dinner. Instead, he sat on the railing on the 2nd floor and looked down at the entire farce below him. Chapter 166. Su Yiyan went upstairs after having dinner with her family. As soon as she entered the house, she received a video call from Hua Chenhuan. Her eyes lit up. "Have you eaten? Do you like the food I made at night? Is there anything you particularly like? I'll make it for you next time." Hua Chenhuan looked into Su Yiyan's sparkling eyes and smiled unconsciously. "They're all delicious. I like them all. It seems that you still don't have enough choices. I'll make something else for you tomorrow." "Ah no, we're going to meet tomorrow. I'll make some snacks for you. Do you like sweet things?" "Sweet?" Hua Chenhuan was stunned. He nodded and said, "Yes, I like them." "Then I'll make egg tarts and cakes for you tomorrow. I'll also make a bottle of freshly ground soy milk. Soy milk is the warmest in this weather." "Okay." Hua Chenhuan's eyes showed some expectation. Then he asked in a low voice, "Did you prepare tea for Xiaoyang today? You saw it. Are you jealous?" Su Yiyan knew that Hua Chenhuan was a good person, but he was a little jealous. She hurriedly explained, "I saw that he came to get the food alone. It's hard on such a cold day, so I thought I'd help him if I could. To put it bluntly, it's because he's your man that I want to take care of him. If it were someone else, I wouldn't be so carefree." Hua Chenhuan knew what she meant. Just like Gu Xiaoyang, she also knew that she gave him tea because she loved him. In the end, she cared about him. Therefore, when Hua Chenhuan heard them talk about it, he was not angry. Instead, he was more concerned about. "They said you're a little angel." Su Yiyan was slightly stunned. She smiled faintly and said, "I'm not." "You are. Even if I am, I'm only your little angel. Moreover, it's only if you're here. As long as you're here, I'm a little angel. If you're gone, an angel will also degenerate into a demon. Just like you after I passed away in my previous life, you lost your warmth, and in order to take revenge, you didn't hesitate to make the world your enemy." Su Yiyan knew that Hua Chenhuan could appear fearless in front of everyone except for her. He was worried that he would hurt her and be unworthy of her. Su Yiyan wanted to tell him that no one in this world was better than him, that no one was more worthy of her. However, it was useless to talk about this kind of thing. She hoped that she could use her actions to tell him these things and make him feel at ease. Hua Chenhuan seemed to have noticed this as well. The expression on her face gradually softened. Previously, you said that your grandfather wanted to meet me. I'm free these few days. All right, I'll ask Grandpa tomorrow to arrange a time for a family gathering. Hua Chenhuan was warmed by the words family. He agreed without thinking, okay. Dundun, who was standing guard not far from Hua Chenhuan, seemed to have heard these 3 words. It ran over and barked at Su Yiyan. Dundun, what's wrong with it? It's probably complaining that we haven't brought it to see its little fiancé for a long time. When Dundun heard this, it immediately barked twice in excitement. Obviously, it agreed with this statement very much. Su Yiyan then remembered that during this period of time, she had to take over the entertainment company's affairs and live stream to help her family recuperate. She had forgotten to ask how Ling Xiaoqi was doing. Chapter 167. Poor Zai Zai thought that this matter was over, but when it was suddenly mentioned again, it immediately exploded. It roared at its owner with all its might, resolutely refusing to do this inhumane thing. Su Yiyan was amused by her dog's emotional and sorrowful barking. After laughing for a while, she said compassionately, "Oh, I forgot. If you get a vasectomy now, even if Hua is willing, you won't have the chance to make it give birth to a puppy for you. So forget it." Woof, Dundun's last bark was sorrowful. Coupled with its sad little eyes, those who didn't know would think that they were abusing dogs. Cough, literally abusing dogs. Okay, I'll ask about your mother-in-law's recent situation first. In 2 days, I'll take you to see the love of your dreams. You'd better behave yourself these few days. Don't always cause trouble. Otherwise, I won't take you, okay? Dundun barked again. It obediently lay on the table and looked at her with eager eyes, as if to say, I'm good, you have to keep your promise. Su Yiyan really couldn't do anything about this clown. She turned to Hua Chenhuan and said, Take good care of our Zai Zai. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. The next day, Su Yiyan got up early to prepare the snacks that she had promised to make for Hua Chenhuan the day before. The egg tart liquid was not complicated. She just had to mix it according to the ratio. The real difficulty was making the egg tart skin. The process was particularly complicated and time-consuming. Aunt Li was already used to her young mistress running to the kitchen for no reason. She would always make some dishes that she had never seen before, but they were extremely fragrant. At first, Aunt Li was a little worried that her master's cooking skills were so good that she would lose her job. Later, she saw that the masters of the house didn't mention this matter much. Usually, when Su Yiyan didn't cook, they would all eat the food she made. She gradually felt relieved. When she saw Su Yiyan walking around in the kitchen as if she was looking for something, she couldn't help but ask, Young mistress, are you looking for something? Do we have a mixer at home? Yes. It's just that I don't usually use it. It's all in the corner. I'll find it for you. The family usually ate stir-fried vegetables, so this blender really didn't have much use. It was only occasionally used to make juice, so it was no wonder that it was thrown in a corner and couldn't be found. Miss, are you going to make juice today? Aunt Li asked curiously as she moved the blender out. No, I want to make some egg tarts and cakes. Egg tarts and cake. It was another dish she had never heard of. As if seeing Aunt Li's surprise, Su Yiyan smiled and said, I'll make more in a while and let you all have a taste. Okay. Then I'll go out first. If Miss needs any help, just call me. Most chefs didn't like to be watched by others when they were cooking. Aunt Li was tactful and left first. Yes. After sending Aunt Li away, Su Yiyan found some flour with high and low gluten. After spending nearly an hour, she finally made dozens of egg tarts. After that, she put the egg mixture in and baked it in the oven for more than 10 minutes. After putting the egg tarts in the oven, Su Yiyan began to make small cakes. The cake base was easy to make, but after the cream was made, Su Yiyan tried to draw a cartoon version of herself and Hua Chenhuan on the cake for a while. She found that it was a little difficult, and the finished product wasn't particularly good-looking. Chapter 168. The sweet aroma of egg tarts and cakes was quite strong, especially when they were baked. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that the aroma wafted 10 miles away. The men, on the other hand, weren't particularly interested in sweets. Although they felt that the aroma was really fragrant, they didn't show any shameful expressions of desire. Cheng Xiuqin and Qin Xueru weren't as calm as them. They followed the aroma all the way to the kitchen and asked eagerly, "Yin Yin, what delicious food are you making now? Why is it so fragrant? Is it ready?" Okay, these are egg tarts. Eat them while they're hot. The egg tarts won't be crispy when they're cold. As for the cake, I left a big one for you. I'll bring it out later. Cheng Xiuqin took the plate of egg tarts from Su Yiyan and happily followed Qin Xueru out. As soon as she walked out of the kitchen, she couldn't help but take one and stuff it into her mouth with a look of enjoyment. It's delicious. If I knew that Yin Yin had talent in this area, I would have let him learn it earlier. Even if you say that, you have to be willing to do it. But Yin Yin's food is really delicious. Not only have I not continued to lose weight these days, I've gained a lot of weight. If this goes on, I won't bear to go back. Then don't go back so quickly. Stay for a few more days. There's nothing to do anyway. It's not a bad thing to let Yin Yin nourish your body more. Qin Xueru subconsciously touched her stomach and smiled. She didn't say anything else. Su Yiyan spread cream on the big cake. After she finished painting it, she asked Aunt Li to bring it out. She asked her to help distribute the remaining egg tarts to some of the old servants who had worked in the house for a long time. She carefully put the egg tarts and the only small cake into a paper box and packed it. Then, she took the boiled hot soy milk and went out. As soon as she walked out of the small kitchen, she ran into her grandfather. "Are you going to see that kid from the family, Hua?" "Yes." "Imph." Old Master Cheng snorted. After expressing his dissatisfaction, he got down to business. "I've done what you asked me to do." "Thank you, Grandpa. I knew Grandpa was the best. As long as you make a move, there is nothing you can't do." Old Master Cheng felt smug from the compliment, but his face was still taut as he sternly said, "Don't flatter me. Have you really decided to hand over this matter to the Research Institute? You have to know that these things will bring you great benefits if you take them out. No matter how great the benefits are, it's useless if you don't have the life to enjoy them. This was never what I wanted. It's fine to give it to the Research Institute. At least they can help me withstand some external pressure. Moreover, didn't you also fight for some convenience for me? Just in terms of the price, I have enough right to decide and share. With this alone, I think I won't have to worry about food and clothing for the rest of my life, even if I don't take the family's money." Whether it was money or reputation, neither was the most important thing to her. To put it bluntly, she had chosen to let her grandfather hand those things over to the Research Institute, because she hoped that the Research Institute would owe her grandfather a favor and seek protection for herself. If something like her previous life happened again in the future, at least someone would stand up and protect her family. Not everyone in this world was selfish, and not everyone was selfless. When the things you want to do inevitably touch the interests of some people, the only way to prevent yourself from being hurt is to let the people's long-term interests coexist with you. Chapter 169. Old Master Cheng seemed to have seen through her thoughts. Feeling helpless and distressed, he rebuked her. "You're so promising. My grandfather, father, brother, uncle, and future husband are all so outstanding. Why do I need to be so promising?" What she wanted from the beginning to the end was for herself and her family to be safe and successful for the rest of her life. "I'm relying on you to protect me for the rest of my life. You can't get rid of me even if you want to." Old Master Cheng rolled his eyes at her. "Forget it. Since you have your own ideas, I won't ask you anymore. It's fine as long as you know what you're doing." Su Yiyan's heart warmed. She was extremely grateful for this old man's tolerance and love for her. Even when she had taken out those things for the first time and showed them to him, he had obviously been extremely surprised. However, After she expressed that she didn't want to say more, he chose to be tolerant and didn't ask any more questions. He even took the initiative to help her make up an excuse to fool the people in the research institute. After they finished talking about business, Old Master Cheng didn't ask her to stay any longer. He only reluctantly reminded her, "You must come back before 10 o'clock tonight." Cheng Xiuqin and the others chased after them and added, "You can't stay overnight. You can't kiss. You can't do anything other than holding hands." Su Yiyan. Aren't you guys thinking too much? When Hua Chenhuan saw Su Yiyan, the first thing he saw was her almost completely red ears. He raised his eyebrows slightly and vaguely guessed something. "Did you wait long? Sorry for the delay." When Su Yiyan saw Hua Chenhuan's eyes light up, she immediately went forward and hugged him. In fact, she wanted to hang her whole body on Hua Chenhuan's body and be at ease as a human pendant. Unfortunately, it was a little difficult for Hua Chenhuan to fulfill her wish now. When she thought of this, Su Yiyan couldn't wait to get married. As long as she got married, she could logically move into the family Hua mansion and start her treatment. "It's fine, we just arrived." Hua Chenhuan held Su Yiyan's cold hand and rubbed it. She frowned and said, "It's cold outside. Let's get into the car first." Yes. As soon as the two of them got into the car, Su Yiyan took out the cake and egg tarts from the box. "These are the cakes and egg tarts I made. Try them and see if you like them. Oh, by the way, there's also soy milk. I ground it just now and it's still warm. Drink some to warm your body first." Hua Chenhuan took the soy milk and touched it. Sure enough, it was still warm. It felt warm and comfortable in her hands. However, his first thought was not to drink it. Instead, he pulled Su Yiyan's hand and covered it with his. As a result, the scene in the car changed to Su Yiyan's hand holding the cup, and Hua Chenhuan's hand covering the back of Su Yiyan's hand. Her palm and the back of her hand were both warm. Soon, Su Yiyan's cold hand was warmed up. Yu Zian sat in the driver's seat. He wanted to see what was going on in the back seat through the rearview mirror. What entered his eyes was this sparkling scene. It almost blinded his titanium dog eyes. "Your scarf." Su Yiyan's hand was covered. She finally noticed the snow-white scarf that Hua Chenhuan was wearing today. Wasn't this one of the scarves that she had chosen for Hua Chenhuan when she went shopping with him last time? "It doesn't look good?" "No, it looks good, very good. You're super handsome today." "Yes." Hua Chenhuan's eyes lit up, and the tips of her ears turned red. Chapter 170. Su Yiyan held the cup of soy milk for a while, and felt that her hands had warmed up a little. She began to urge Hua Chenhuan to eat. "Try this egg tart. It's been baked for a while, and it's a little cold. The outer skin might not be as crispy as before." Hua Chenhuan took a bite of the brightly colored egg tart from Su Yiyan's outstretched hand. The slightly cold skin of the egg tart was a little chewy, and the golden liquid was soft and fragrant, just like the person beside her. "It's delicious. I'm glad you like it." Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief and took out the exquisite little cake. "I wanted to draw two people and a dun-dun, but I found it difficult to draw people. Let me practice a little more. On the day of our wedding, I'll make a big cake and put it in the living room of the old mansion. What do you think?" Hua Chenhuan's eyes lit up when he heard that. "Okay." Su Yiyan was relieved to see that Hua Chenhuan didn't reject the two things. She passed the other one she prepared to Yu Zian. "Time is limited, and it's a little troublesome to make a cake. I only made two. One is at home, and the other is for your young master. I made quite a lot of egg tart. Take it back and try it with the others later." Yu Zian, who was driving, was almost moved to tears. He instantly forgot about the anger from being abused. While waiting for the car, he hurriedly took the box that Su Yiyan passed to him. "Thank you, Miss Su. I'll definitely take it back and share it with the others." Yu Zian stole a glance at Hua Chenhuan when he said this. Seeing that he didn't have any reaction, he happily placed the box of egg tart in the front seat. He couldn't help but take a few glances at it before he drove off. Those who didn't know better would think that he was looking at his dream lover. After arriving at the hospital, Hua Chenhuan accompanied Su Yiyan upstairs while Yu Zian waited downstairs. As soon as the two of them left, Yu Zian shot a short video. It was a 360-degree loop, trying to capture all the scrumptiousness of the egg tarts in this short video. After taking the picture, Yuzian enjoyed it for a while before sending it to the group of 3. He said happily, "Look, what's this?" Although Zui Yanbai and Gu Xiaoyang were both in the company, their working hours were relatively flexible, so they replied almost instantly. Lai Gu Xiaoyang. F***ck. What kind of peerless cutie, no peerless delicacy was this? Hand it over and I won't kill you. Silence like a pine tree. Is this food? Fisherman Zian. Hee, I didn't waste so much effort to get this spot today. Young madam made some snacks and drinks for young master. And she also prepared some for us. She was so considerate and kind. Sob, sob, sob. I was so touched that I was about to cry. Lai Gu Chaoyang. Jealousy makes me ugly. JPG. Jealousy makes me cry. JPG. Jealousy makes me dissociate. JPG crying. JPG. Why wasn't I the one who went with her today? Quiet as a pine, us? So all of us have a share? Fisherman Zian. It's me and Xiaoyang. You don't have a share. Lai Gu Xiaoyang. Yes, you don't have a share. It's all me and Zian's blissful. JP quiet as a pine. You guys are openly abusing your power for personal gain and embezzling public property. Fisherman Zian, so what? Young madam only said that she would let us have a taste. She didn't mention any names. Since it's in my hands, I have the final say. Lai Gu Chaoyang. That's right. Traitors have no right to speak. Get lost. Righteous. JB. Chapter 171. Su Yiyan did not know that the snacks she made had once again witnessed a fake brotherly relationship. When she wheeled Hu Chenhuan into Ning Qirui's ward, she was surprised to find that there was another person in addition to Ning Xiyuan. This is... Su Yiyan frowned and looked displeased. She had confirmed the time of visit with the Ning brothers before she came, and this person was still in the ward at this time. Obviously, the brothers had agreed. Su Yiyan was a little dissatisfied with the way the two brothers casually revealed the fact that she had treated Ning Qirui to others. As if he could read Su Yiyan's mind, Yang Jinyu quickly stepped forward like a little fanboy and wanted to hold Su Yiyan's hand. Su Yiyan was shocked, and Hu Chenhuan immediately pulled Su Yiyan to her side. Her sharp gaze was like a sharp knife cutting at Yang Jinyu. What do you want to do? Yang Jinyu thought that he had seen a lot of big shots, but when he met Hu Chenhuan's gaze, he could not help but feel scared. When he saw Su Yiyan's guarded gaze, he also realized that he had lost his composure. He laughed dryly and said, Sorry, I was too presumptuous. My name is Yang Jinyu, and I'm Chirui's good friend. I was worried when I found out that Chirui was sick. After knowing that Miss Su had a way to cure him, I was a little excited. Please forgive me for offending Miss Su. I really don't mean any harm. As Yang Jinyu spoke, he automatically took a few steps back to show that he was harmless. Ning Xiyuan saw that the atmosphere was a little awkward, so he quickly stepped forward to smooth things over. Jinyu and us brothers grew up together. When Chirui was sick, he was also concerned and insisted on staying to see you. We were too presumptuous. If Miss Su minds, we won't let him come next time. Since Ning Xiyuan had said so, Su Yiyan did not pursue the matter. After all, she did not explicitly ask the brothers not to spread news about her. It's okay, but next time, I hope that President Ning will let me know in advance so that I can be mentally prepared. Of course. Just as Su Yiyan expected, after she left yesterday, Ning Xiyuan asked the doctor in the hospital to do a full body checkup on Ning Qirui. He did it again after eating the medicinal cuisine she sent over. Although the effect was a little subtle at first, after taking a few medicinal meals, Ning Qirui's illness did improve a little in terms of overall data. In Ning Xiyuan's opinion, this was still far from enough. However, to the doctors in the hospital, it was already considered a miracle to be able to achieve such results in such a short period of time. Although Ning Xiyuan didn't know much about medicine, he could tell from the doctor's reactions that Su Yiyan was truly capable and wasn't trying to be mysterious. His attitude towards Su Yiyan was much warmer than before. Seeing that Su Yiyan's expression was slightly better because of his words, Ning Xiyuan breathed a sigh of relief. He took the initiative to change the topic. Miss Su, this is my fiancé, Hu Chenhuan. As soon as she said this, Ning Siyuan and Yang Jinyu looked at each other and saw a trace of surprise in each other's eyes. They had heard of Hu Chenhuan's name before, but they did not expect to meet him here. Moreover, seeing how this person was subconsciously protecting Su Yiyan just now, the groundless rumors outside would probably be false. Chapter 172. No one disliked being praised for having a good relationship with the person they liked, and Su Yiyan was no exception. She smiled faintly and glanced at Hu Chenhuan with a smug look that said, "You don't have to tell me that." The coldness in Hu Chenhuan's eyes dissipated when he saw her like this, but he ignored Ning Siyuan and simply said, "Let's get down to business." The sooner they finished, the sooner they could leave. He really did not like the way these men looked at his wife. Su Yiyan saw his impatience and wanted to get it done quickly. She patted Hu Chenhuan's shoulder to comfort him and walked to Ning Qirui's bedside. "Have you eaten all the food that was delivered these 2 days?" After Ning Qirui saw Wen Jingping's true colors, he also understood that he had been used as a tool and wrongly blamed Su Yiyan. Now that he saw Su Yiyan, he felt uncomfortable and hesitated for a long time. In the end, it was Ning Siyuan who answered for him. "Yes, I asked someone to watch him eat. He ate all of it, not leaving anything behind." Oh. Su Yiyan saw Ning Qirui's embarrassment and thought of the system's announcement yesterday. She turned her eyes slightly and joked, "Is it delicious?" Ning Qirui's expression became more and more uncomfortable, but Yang Jinyu suddenly jumped out at this time and said, "It's delicious. When it was delivered, I happened to be next to it. That smell. TSK, it really makes people salivate. Especially that fish." Whenever Yang Jinyu thought of that smell, he could not help but show an intoxicated expression on his face. When he interrupted, Ning Qirui was unhappy. "You haven't eaten it. How do you know it's delicious? You still have the nerve to say that. Brother, I usually think of you first when I have something good. You're not even willing to give me a mouthful of fish, or even a mouthful of soup. What's the use of having a brother like you? Don't forget, I'm a patient now. Those dishes were originally made for me. You snatch food from a patient, and still have the nerve to tell others. Do you have any shame? Shame on you." You. Su Yiyan was speechless. Did he overturn the boat of friendship just because of a mouthful of food? What kind of fake brotherhood was this? After Ning Qirui finished rebuking Yang Jinyu, he suddenly felt a chill on his back. He looked around in confusion and instantly met Hu Chenhuan's cold gaze. Ning Qirui was speechless. Damn, what was wrong with this person? He looked like he wanted to eat someone. Just as she was panicking, she heard Su Yiyan ask a question even though she already knew the answer. "So, you don't think those dishes taste good?" Ning Qirui was slightly startled. He finally blushed and said reluctantly, "It's delicious. Since you're willing to cooperate, let's proceed with the next treatment. As usual, leave only a few people in the ward. Don't let anyone disturb you. Don't worry, during this period of time, only our people will be on this floor. No one will disturb you." That's good. Although Yang Jinyu had been reminded before not to make a fuss no matter what he saw, he could not help but gasp when he saw Su Yiyan take out a large row of needles and intend to stick the needles into Ning Qirui's body. Just like the day before, Su Yiyan's acupuncture points were mostly on the back. The difference was that this time, she inserted a few more places than before. Moreover, she had not prepared the moxibustion the day before, so the effect would be better. Yang Jinyu watched as Ning Qirui was pricked by needles and scalded by the finger-like fragrance. He suddenly felt that the world was a bit mysterious. Chapter 173. Compared to Yang Jinyu, who was doubting his life, Ning Qirui did not feel good either. Su Yiyan touched his body with the familiar scent, but it did not hurt much. Just like what Yang Jinyu thought, he also felt that his whole body was fragrant. He could eat it after adding some salt and other seasonings. Thinking of the delicious food Su Yiyan sent over not long ago, Ning Chirue wondered if he was the meat on the chopping board in Su Yiyen's eyes. Of course, this was not the most important thing. The most important thing was that the burning thing on his body was actually quite hot. But every time Su Yiyen's hand touched his back, he could not help but shudder inexplicably. Was this also a sign that the treatment was working? Siyuan, can this really cure the disease? I think Chirue is going to be pricked like a hedgehog. Ning Siyuan looked at the inexplicably scary needles on his brother's back and raised his eyebrows. It does look scarier than yesterday. That's what I said. But the data can't fool people. Since you want to cure the disease, you have to suffer a little. Getting well is the most important thing. Yang Jinyu was speechless. He was indeed his brother. He could not refute him. After Ning Siyuan finished speaking, he did not look at Su Yiyen and Su Yiyen. Instead, he turned to look at Hua Chenhuan, who was not far away. He had long heard that this family Hua was indifferent and scary. Because of her health, she did not see outsiders all year round. Now that he had met her, the rumors were true. It was just that when facing Su Yiyen, she would always carefully hide her scary hostility, as if she was afraid of hurting her. This conclusion made Ning Siyuan a little surprised, but it was surprisingly compatible with the two people in front of him. It seemed that the rumors outside were somewhat credible, but some were not. These two people were said to be forced into a marriage, but in fact, they were already in love with each other. If word got out, who knew how many people would be shocked? While countless thoughts flashed through Ning Siyuan's mind, Su Yiyen had finally inserted all the needles into the corresponding acupoints. After that, she still needed to leave the needles for another 20 to 30 minutes, and gently twist the needles occasionally. When Yang Jinyu saw that Su Yiyen had stopped, he thought that she was done. He sneaked up to Ning Chirue and asked in a low voice, "Brother, are you okay?" Ning Chirue looked up at him and said weakly, "I think I can still be saved." Pfft. Su Yiyen almost laughed out loud. "Alright, don't make it sound like I'm abusing you. You're so comfortable that you're about to fall asleep. Do you want me to rescue you in your dream?" Ning Chirue's face turned red. He recalled how he had inexplicably fallen asleep the last time. Now that he thought about it, he still felt inexplicably embarrassed. She must have done something when she stabbed herself. She must have. Half an hour later, Su Yiyen pulled out all the needles that had been inserted into his body. His forehead was covered in a layer of sweat. Just as she exhaled, a hand reached over and wiped the sweat on her forehead. "Are you tired?" "I'm okay." Su Yiyen enjoyed Hua Chenhuan's thoughtfulness with a clear conscience. Her eyes were sparkling as she said, "I've made you wait for so long. You must be bored, right?" Hua Chenhuan shook her head. "I'm not bored. I'm happy just watching you do nothing." Su Yiyen was taken aback, and then she smiled foolishly. Yang Jinyu and Ning Siyuan, who were caught off guard and fed a mouthful of dog food, were speechless. Chapter 174. Su Yiyen was happy that Hua Chenhuan dared to say sweet nothings to her in front of so many people. But she also desperately wanted to spend time with Hua Chenhuan alone. Therefore, after Hua Chenhuan helped her wipe her sweat, Su Yiyen immediately turned to look at Ning Siyuan and said, "Today's treatment will end here. I'll come back in a week. Remember to send someone to collect the remaining medicinal cuisine from my house on time. I've already stewed it before I came out tonight. You can send someone to collect it when it's time. My housekeeper will bring it to you." Ning Siyuan understood why the housekeeper was the one to collect it, and not Su Yiyen herself. He glanced at the two of them and smiled faintly. "Okay, I'll send someone over on time. If there's nothing else, we'll take our leave first. Okay, I'll send you out." "No need, we can go out on our own. You stay here and take care of your brother." Ning Siyuan still wanted to say something, but Yang Jinyu had already interrupted. "I'm going back to Siyuan, you stay here and accompany Chirue. I'll send them out." "Okay then." As soon as the three of them left, Ning Chirue could not help but ask his eldest brother, "Brother, do you think Su Yiyen can really cure my illness? It's an undeniable fact that your physical condition is getting better. Even if she can't completely cure you, it's good to stabilize your condition and prevent it from getting worse." "That's true." Ning Chirue nodded, but he was not optimistic. But brother, don't get your hopes up. If she can really cure my illness, why doesn't she treat her fiancé's leg? Maybe she wants to treat it, but she hasn't cured it yet. Don't you need to treat your illness for a while to know if it can be cured? Brother, what you said makes sense. I just hope that she can really do it. Ning Chirue pondered and frowned. I didn't expect her fiancé to be. Brother, do you think the two of them really have feelings for each other? Didn't you just see it? Ning Chirue thought of how much public display of affection he had just witnessed. He choked and muttered indignantly. What we see may not be true. Maybe it's just an act for us. Ning Siyuan was amused by his words. Who do you think you are that she has to put on an act for you? Do you know who was in the wheelchair just now? Hua Xiaofeng's uncle. That's because you're inexperienced and don't understand. The outside world had never associated him with Hua Xiaofeng's family. It was too degrading. Even I, strictly speaking, have to call him Uncle Hua, or even Master Hua. Is he that powerful? Ning Chirue was taken aback. In the upper-class society, the titles uncle and grandpa referred not only to seniority but also to status and ability. Ning Siyuan sighed helplessly as he looked at his younger brother, who always appeared especially naive and sweet at times like this. I see that your attitude towards that Miss Su isn't as repulsive as before. If that's the case, be nicer to her in the future. First of all, she's treating your illness now. Whether it's you or our family, we all owe her a favor. Second of all, you saw it just now. That gentleman dotes on Miss Su like she's his treasure. If you're still so insensible, I can't protect you. Chapter 175. Su Yiyan pushed Hua Chenhuan out, and Yang Jinyu followed behind like a little tail. Along the way, he didn't find a chance to talk to Su Yiyan. Seeing that the two were about to leave the hospital, Yang Jinyu finally couldn't help but step forward and say, Miss Su. Su Yiyan paused and turned to look at him in confusion. Mr. Yang, is there anything else? Yang Jinyu felt a chill at the back of his head when Hua Chenhuan suddenly glanced at him coldly. But when he thought of his own situation, he braced himself and went to Su Yiyan's side and whispered, Miss Su, are you the streamer of Yanyan's little Yanyan kitchen? You are. Su Yiyan's eyes narrowed slightly, and she subconsciously glanced at Hua Chenhuan. After seeing that she didn't seem to hear Yang Jinyu's words, she frowned and said, What Yanyan's little kitchen? I've never heard of it. Su Yiyan's reaction was within Yang Jinyu's expectations. He hurriedly explained, Miss Su, don't be nervous. I'm a loyal viewer of your live broadcast room, and I was lucky enough to be selected by you before. You are? Su Yiyan's words were tantamount to admitting that she was the streamer in disguise. Ahem. Yang Jinyu touched his nose, and seemed to be a little embarrassed to admit his ID. I'm that golden gun will not fall. Su Yiyan suddenly realized that she still had an impression of this ID. After all, he was a frequent guest of her live broadcast room who often gave her a large reward, and she couldn't forget his name even if she wanted to. This could also explain why he was so excited when he saw her in the ward. Seeing that Su Yiyan seemed to remember him, Yang Jinyu's eyes lit up. He said awkwardly and flatteringly, Well, Miss Su, can I have a word with you? Su Yiyan raised his eyebrows. He could understand the man's previous problem. He lowered his head and reported to Hua Chenhuan, This is one of my former patients. I'm going to talk to him for a while. I'll be back soon. Wait for me here. After saying that, he kissed his hand and then pressed it on Hua Chenhuan's face. Yang Jinyu. What kind of operation was this? Hua Chenhuan's originally gloomy face was also dazed by her kiss. Su Yiyan, on the other hand, revealed a mischievous smile and said cheerfully, Before we came out, my parents specifically told me that we're not allowed to kiss. Yang Jinyu. So you used this method with your fiancé? Ahem, no wonder you're a streamer. You really know how to play. Hua Chenhuan was teased by her, and the coldness on his face dissipated a lot. He reluctantly said, Go early and come back early. Just a few words. I'll be back soon. After saying that, he winked at Yang Jinyu. Yang Jinyu understood and hurriedly led Su Yiyan to a long corridor not far away. This way, Hu Chunhuan could see them and not let him hear their conversation. Tell me, how did you recognize me? Why are you looking for me? It was purely an accident that I recognized you. Yesterday, I went to the hospital to visit Chirue, and his agent happened to come over to deliver dinner to him. Su Yiyan understood instantly. This person was a viewer of her live broadcast room. During her live broadcast yesterday, he also gave her a few rewards. Naturally, he knew what she had cooked yesterday afternoon. These dishes appeared at Ning Chirue's place shortly after that, so it was not surprising that he would be suspicious. Chapter 176. Treat you too. Su Yiyan looked surprised. She subconsciously took 2 steps back and looked Yang Jinyu up and down. She found that he did have some physical problems, but they were not too serious. Didn't the soup last time work? Su Yiyan agreed to come over and talk to Yang Jinyu alone, because she wanted to know the effect of her previous tonic soup. After all, Hu Chunhuan's problem was not just her legs. It worked. Yang Jinyu hurriedly responded, and then said a little embarrassedly, I drank the soup at that time, and it worked on the same day. But a few days later it was... Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief. She had a rough understanding. In other words, you did have some effect after drinking my soup, but a few days later, you relapsed. Yeah. Then what have you been doing these past few days? Yang Jinyu's expression was slightly stiff. When he mentioned these things to Ning Chirue before, he was still confident and proud. But when it came to Su Yiyan, he only felt indescribably embarrassed. Just like before, with my girlfriend. You know. Su Yiyan blinked and laughed out loud. No, I'm very pure. I don't know anything. Yang Jinyu. Before saying this, could you please take back the dog food you fed me before? Fortunately, after teasing him, Su Yiyan did not make things too difficult for Yang Jinyu. She went back to the topic and said, So after the soup worked, you couldn't wait to do it with your girlfriend again. Yeah. Su Yiyan sighed and said earnestly, Young people, you can't fool around just because you are young. If something really goes wrong, it will be too late to regret it. Yang Jinyu wanted to cry. He was a man in his late 30s, and he was being lectured by a girl who was a few years younger than him. He felt a little embarrassed, but he had to agree. Yes, you are right. I have a rough idea of what your illness is. Su Yiyan glanced at him and gave him a heads up. But after this experience, you should have realized that although my medicinal cuisine can help you recover, if you don't take care of yourself for a period of time, your body will still be emptied out sooner or later. Then what should we do? I can help you treat it, but you have to know your limits. Appropriately. Control yourself. Otherwise, even if I can cure your illness, I won't be able to cure your own death. Although Su Yiyan's words were not very polite, his words were crude but reasonable. Yang Jinyu blushed and hurriedly said, As long as Miss Su can help treat it, I promise to keep myself clean from now on and abstain from sex. Being able to use it and not being able to use it were 2 completely different concepts. When it came to a man's dignity, Yang Jinyu decisively chose the former. Well, I don't plan to go home for the time being. You can do a full body checkup yourself, and then send me the medical report by private message. I will look at it when I go back. Yang Jinyu's physical condition was not complicated. Years of unrestrained sexual activity had made his body weak and weary. Simply put, his body was hollowed out. Chapter 177. Yang Jinyu was greatly relieved when he saw that Su Yiyan had agreed. It was a piece of cake for him to send a medical report. The hospital that Ning Chirue worked in was owned by his uncle's family. Not to mention other things, confidentiality was guaranteed to a certain extent. Okay. I'll do a detailed full-body examination and send it to you later. That's it then. Contact me if you need anything. After Su Yiyan confirmed that the medicinal cuisine she made was indeed effective, she was not in the mood to chat with Yang Jinyu anymore. She ran back to Hu Chunhuan happily and continued to push him out. Are you very happy? Yes. Su Yiyan did not hide her joy. Her eyes turned slightly and she said slyly, "You saw it just now, right?" Hua Chenhuan thought that she was talking about the scene where the two of them stood in the corridor and talked. His eyes darkened slightly, and he said coldly, "I saw it." Su Yiyan had always been sensitive to Hua Chenhuan's emotional changes. She stopped immediately and walked around to Hua Chenhuan. She leaned over and looked at him in the eye. "Are you angry?" Hua Chenhuan looked at Su Yiyan's face, which was close to him. The rebuttal that was on the tip of his tongue turned into a jealous complaint. "You smiled so happily at him." Su Yiyan laughed. "I wasn't smiling at him. I was happy that his condition has improved." Hua Chenhuan's face was still ugly, and he looked away to avoid eye contact. Su Yiyan had no choice but to blush and say truthfully, "His illness is similar to yours." Hua Chenhuan's expression changed slightly. He suddenly understood something, and his face was a little ugly. "Don't be angry. What I meant was that you saw how I treated Ning Qiruwei, right?" Hua Chenhuan was stunned, and a little embarrassment flashed across his face. "You also saw that I can treat people, and the method I use is different from the usual treatment. So, are you willing to believe me? One day, I will cure you, whether it's your leg or..." Su Yiyan seemed to be afraid that Hua Chenhuan would be hurt and sad, so she hurriedly explained, "Of course, I don't care about how you look now. I just hope that you can get better than now." Before Su Yiyan could finish, she was interrupted by Hua Chenhuan. "I know. That's good." Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief. The reason why I talked to him alone just now was because it was related to a man's dignity. Of course, I was also curious about the effects of the food I gave him before. The reason why I laughed was because he told me that those things were effective. At that time, you were thinking about me. Yes. Su Yiyan blushed slightly and said embarrassedly, "I was thinking about the same illness. It was effective for him, so it doesn't make sense that it wouldn't work for you." When Hua Chenhuan heard this, she no longer remembered the sour feeling she had when she saw Su Yiyan smiling so happily at a strange man. She reached out and touched Su Yiyan's face, smiled, and said, "Thank you." Su Yiyan took the opportunity to hold Hua Chenhuan's hand and smiled slightly. "Why are you thanking me? If you want to thank me, wait until I cure you in the future. Okay." Hua Chenhuan looked at Su Yiyan's shining eyes, and her mood was affected. "Don't worry, you can take your time. Even if you can't cure me, it doesn't matter." Chapter 178. Su Yiyan was a little unhappy when she heard what he said. "What are you talking about? I can definitely cure you. When I'm ready in all aspects and gradually become proficient in acupuncture, I'll treat you. One day, I'll let everyone see a brand new you." "Ready in all aspects and gradually become proficient in acupuncture?" Hua Chenhuan repeated Su Yiyan's words. Her eyes flashed and she probed. "So, the reason why you're treating them is to practice?" Su Yiyan was stunned. Her little trick had been exposed unexpectedly. It was really difficult to resist. "Ahem, you can't put it that way. Although I'm not very proficient, I'm treating them seriously. You can't completely say that I'm using them as practice." Hua Chenhuan was not so easily fooled by her. She joked, "You mean that there's still a certain element of it, right?" Yes, you're right." Su Yiyan glared at him angrily. She went back behind him with a blushing face. As she pushed the wheelchair forward, she muttered softly, "It's good that you know. Why did you have to say it out loud? I'm so embarrassed." Hua Chenhuan could not help but smile when she heard that. She replied softly, "Okay, I won't say it." Su Yiyan was speechless. She sounded like she was coaxing a child. Did she think that he was coaxing her like Dun Dun? Yu Zian waited downstairs for an hour or two, but he was not bored at all. First, he took the box of egg tarts and joked around with Gu Xiaoyang and Su Yiyan. Later, he could not resist the temptation and ate too. While eating, he even made a scoundrel. He recorded the whole process of eating into a short video and sent it to the group chat. Gu Xiaoyang and Su Yiyan almost crawled over the internet to beat him up. When he was full of hatred, Su Yiyan and Su Yiyan were about to go downstairs. Yu Zian saw the two of them coming out from afar. He quickly put away his phone and the box and took a careful look at himself in the mirror. After confirming that there were no traces of eating on his face, he turned to look out of the car window. At first glance, she felt that the atmosphere between the two of them was not right. Compared to before they were admitted to the hospital, they seemed to be even more lovey-dovey. It's getting late. Let's find a place to have dinner. Hua Chenhuan didn't say yes or no. After a moment of silence, she said, "Before that, can you accompany me somewhere?" Where is it?" "We'll know when we get there." Su Yiyan was a little surprised. This guy actually learned how to be mysterious. It seemed that he had learned a lot from his subordinates during this time. Hua Chenhuan didn't say anything, so she didn't ask. However, the place that Hua Chenhuan wanted to take her to seemed a little far. After driving for about half an hour, Su Yiyan couldn't help but yawn. She had been busy the whole day, making egg tarts and cakes at home. She was so busy that she didn't even take an afternoon nap. When she came out, she performed acupuncture for Ning Chirui for more than an hour. At this time, she was really sleepy and couldn't open her eyes. Hua Chenhuan immediately noticed Su Yiyan's strange behavior. He reached out to support her swaying head and let her lean on his shoulder. "Go to sleep. I'll wake you up when we get there." Su Yiyan was actually half asleep at this time. When she heard his words, she whispered, "No, I'm afraid that you'll sell me." After saying that, she fell into a deep sleep, vividly showing the inconsistency between her words and actions. Chapter 179. Su Yiyan woke up after a series of jolts. The sky was completely dark, and she could hear the sound of rolling water. Su Yiyan took a few seconds to figure out her situation. She looked at the sparkling water, not far away. Recalling what happened before she fell asleep, she couldn't help but make a bold guess. Someone couldn't have sold her out, right? "You're awake?" A familiar voice came from beside her. Su Yiyan was shocked. She realized that the person she was suspicious of was sitting on the other side. "What are you thinking about?" Hua Chenhuan moved in front of Su Yiyan, less than 10 centimeters in front of her, and said meaningfully, "You think I sold you out?" Su Yiyan laughed foolishly and changed the topic. "Where are we? I think there's water outside." "It's a small island in the suburbs." "Small island?" Fortunately, Su Yiyan wasn't drinking water, or she would have choked. "Why did you bring me here in the middle of the night? Are you plotting something against me?" "Yes." Hua Chenhuan admitted that he was plotting something against his future wife, Su Yiyan. "Do you have to be so honest? Should I cooperate or not?" "We'll talk about the rest later. Let's eat first." Hua Chenhuan pulled Su Yiyan out of the cabin. Su Yiyan realized that they were indeed at the edge of a small island. The water in the distance was dark and looked a little gloomy. Fortunately, the boat and the beach they were on were brightly lit. They could see the end of the boat at a glance, so it wasn't particularly scary. The two's dinner was personally delivered by the boat's chef. The taste wasn't bad, but it was still edible. It was quite romantic to enjoy a candlelight dinner with the person you love on a yacht. The premise was that they had to ignore the sea breeze that almost blew them into idiots. Hua Chenhuan seemed to have realized the drawbacks of this arrangement. As soon as they finished dinner, she suggested, "Do you want to go up and take a look at our manor?" "We? What's mine is yours. This island is ours. Naturally, the manor on it is also ours." Su Yiyan's eyes lit up. Sure enough, she was persuaded. "Okay, it just so happens that I haven't seen the manor on the island. I'll take you there." "Yes." The manor that Hua Chenhuan mentioned was actually quite a distance away from the coast, but the two of them had just finished eating, so they could use this opportunity to take a walk to digest their food. "This island looks pretty." Although it was nighttime, they could still see the large green plants planted on the island. The fine sand on the beach should have been filtered in advance. Under the reflection of the light, it shone like the starry sky. It was very comfortable to step on. "There's no way there's no news about such a beautiful island. I've never heard of such a beautiful island before." Hua Chenhuan saw that she liked the island. The corners of her lips curled up. She explained, "This island is private. It has never been disclosed to the public before. Naturally, there's no news about it. Su Yiyan nodded, indicating that she understood. If she owned an island alone, she wouldn't want to disclose it either. She wouldn't want her private territory to become a place for other people's entertainment. It would cause her to be disturbed. Hua Chenhuan saw that she didn't speak. She suddenly turned her head and asked, "Aren't you going to ask me why I don't disclose it to the public?" "Why?" Chapter 180. Su Yiyan was slightly startled, and her face turned red at a speed visible to the naked eye. Before this, she was the one who teased Hua Chenhuan most of the time. Why did it suddenly turn around today? She was afraid that this guy had not only learned how to flatter his subordinates, but also learned all kinds of flirting words. Su Yiyan was already unable to resist him when he didn't say flirtatious words. Now that he was saying flirtatious words, Su Yiyan couldn't stop the smoke from coming out of her head. She was excited and shy at the same time. Hua Chenhuan didn't seem to intend to let her go so easily. Seeing that she didn't speak, he asked again, "Why don't you ask me who I like?" Su Yiyan thought to herself, "Who else can you like besides me?" But if she really said this, it would be too narcissistic. Su Yiyan held back for a while, but in the end, she followed his words and asked, "Who do you like?" Hua Chenhuan suddenly turned his head and looked straight into her eyes. He smiled and said, "You." These two short words were more straightforward and sweet than any words of love in the world. Su Yiyan's face turned completely red. "Do you mean that this island is for me?" "Yes." Su Yiyan didn't argue and accepted it all. "Thank you. I want a reward." "What?" Hua Chenhuan didn't directly answer her question. He smiled and asked again, "Do you like this island?" "I like it. I gave you such a beautiful island that you like so much. Can't I ask for a reward?" Su Yiyan raised her eyebrows and was a little curious. "What reward do you want?" "Lower your head." Su Yiyan looked at him doubtfully, but still lowered her head and moved closer to him. Before she finished speaking, Hua Chenhuan had turned his head and kissed her on the cheek. Su Yiyan was startled. Just as she was about to denounce him, she met a certain someone's deep eyes that were mixed with a little bit of light. In his previous life, Hua Chenhuan's deep and sharp eyes were like a black hole in the universe, cold and dangerous. At this moment, Su Yiyan felt as if many bright stars had suddenly appeared in the universe, illuminating the original darkness and making him warm and soft. He was no longer like before, with spikes all over his body and repelling people thousands of miles away. Scared silly. "I didn't." Su Yiyan seemed to have woken up from a dream. She snorted coldly and said, "I just remembered that before I came out, my parents and brother repeatedly told me not to do anything more intimate than holding hands with you. If they find out what you're doing now, my father and brother will definitely not let you off easily." Hua Chenhuan was not frightened by Su Yiyan's words at all. She chuckled and said, "What about you?" "I what? I did this to you. What are you going to do to me?" "I'll let it go this time, but there won't be a next time. Otherwise, I'll throw you off the island to feed the sharks." Hua Chenhuan looked at her faintly and said with a faint smile, "Can you bear to do that?" Su Yiyan flew into a rage out of humiliation. "See if I can bear to do that." As the two bickered, they had slowly walked to the edge of the manor. Just by looking in from the outside, one could see that this was a private manor that occupied a large area. The main building could not be seen under the curtain of the night, but at least as far as the eye could see, there was no end in sight. Chapter 181. Do you like it? Su Yiyan froze for a moment, thinking that he was asking if she liked the manor. "I like it. This manor is very beautiful." Hua Chenhuan did not comment and asked again, "Do you like the flowers here?" Su Yiyan blinked. Only then did she understand that Hua Chenhuan had just asked about the flowers in the courtyard. "I like it. But, how do you know that I like blue roses?" Hua Chenhuan did not give a direct answer. Instead, he gave an ambiguous answer. "If you want to know, you can find out. As long as you have the heart and are willing to understand, There is nothing in this world that can be hidden. If a person does not know what kind of person he likes, what kind of habits she has, what kind of preferences she has, then it can only mean that he is not attentive enough to you, and does not love you enough. The corners of Su Yian's lips curled up slightly as she pushed Hua Chenhuan into the manor. Perhaps knowing that someone would come tonight, the manor's gate was wide open, welcoming them in. Su Yiyan looked around, but did not see anyone for a long time. As if seeing her doubts, Hua Chenhuan kindly reminded her. Tonight, there is no one else here except for me and you. Just the two of us? Yes, you don't like to be alone with me? No, just the two of us, this is good. Su Yiyan pushed Hua Chenhuan to the front of the flowers, and asked with a smile. You know that I like blue roses, then do you know why I like blue roses? Why? Blue is the color of the sky and the sea, clean and beautiful. And the flower language of blue roses just happens to be miracles and impossible things. I like miracles, they can always bring me different surprises, just like you. She thought that she would miss you, but unexpectedly returned to the past. In her previous life, this was something impossible to achieve, a miracle that she had never expected. To me you are a miracle. Hua Chenhuan's expression slightly moved, and reached out to hold Su Yiyan's hand. You are also my miracle. Su Yiyan pursed her lips, and just as she was about to say something, she suddenly heard a burst of fireworks outside the manor. Someone is setting off fireworks? Su Yiyan's attention was instantly attracted. Colorful fireworks flew up from both sides of the manor, sometimes like a waterfall pouring down, sometimes like snowflakes dancing in the sky. Su Yiyan at first thought that the fireworks were just deliberately set by the people near the manor, until the fireworks exploded in the sky, one after another. Did you prepare these fireworks? Su Yiyan's voice just fell. Suddenly, a familiar figure flew out of the manor's gate. It was a fat dog wearing a pink lace dress with a large pink bow on its head. As it ran, the flesh all over its body was trembling. The blue rose in its mouth was also being blown by the wind, and was being ravaged. Dun dun. Su Yiyan was about to squat down to greet her little dog, but saw it suddenly turn around and run to her side. Hua Chenhuan carefully took the rose in Dundan's mouth, and patted its little head as a reward. Then she leaned over to look at Su Yiyan and smiled. Yan Yan. Yes. Su Yiyan's heart suddenly jumped, and she inexplicably felt a little nervous. Chapter 182. Su Yiyan's mind went blank for a moment. She stared blankly at the blue rose in front of her. After a while, she finally found her voice. You want me to agree with just a blue rose? That's too perfunctory, isn't it? As soon as the words came out of her mouth, she regretted it. It wasn't just a blue rose, but a courtyard full of roses, a manor, and an island. But even if it was just a rose, she was still willing. What was there to be stubborn about? Then what if I add this? Hua Chenhuan took out a small box that he had prepared earlier, and handed it to Su Yiyan. When Su Yiyan saw the thing inside, her face changed. Inside the delicate little box was a beautiful platinum diamond ring. This diamond ring was in the shape of a rotating belt. Finally, one on the left and one on the right, encircled the uppermost diamond. In addition, if one looked carefully, they would find that the belt of the ring had an incomparably delicate engraving in the shape of an olive branch. At a glance, it looked like two olive branches encircling the diamond. It was a little strange but very beautiful. However, what really surprised Su Yiyan wasn't the design of the diamond ring, but that she had seen this diamond ring in her previous life. During the days when she was by Hua Chenhuan's side as a soul, she had seen several times when Hua Chenhuan was alone at night, staring at this diamond ring thoughtfully. Could it be that in his previous life, he had also fantasized about being together with her? Also, he liked her so much. How could he not have thought about it? But since he had thought about it, why didn't he put it into action? Su Yiyan's heart flashed with countless guesses, but Hua Chenhuan didn't know anything about it. Seeing that she was silent, the little heart that had long been accustomed to storms and waves actually became nervous. Yin Yin. Su Yiyan suddenly woke up. Only then did she remember that she was at the scene of a marriage proposal. Someone was holding this familiar ring and proposing to her. Since you're so sincere, I'll reluctantly agree to your request. Although she said that, Su Yiyen's eyes were brimming with joy, making it obvious that she was in a good mood at the moment. Hua Chenhuan's heart calmed down, but she didn't expose her. She picked up the ring and put it on her finger carefully. After putting it on, Su Yiyen stared at the ring and turned it over several times. It was neither too tight nor too loose. It wouldn't hurt, and it wouldn't slip out easily. How did you know the size of my finger? Yes, said Wang Yao. Measured? How did you measure it? Hua Chenhuan reached out and took the initiative to hold her hand. Then he opened his hand and intertwined his fingers with hers. This is the amount. Su Yiyen. Like hell I'll believe you. How can you measure it like this? However, she also knew that there wasn't much point in dwelling on this. Soon, she changed the topic that she was more curious about. The pattern of this ring is a bit special. Does it have any special meaning? Hua Chenhuan held her hand and stroked the texture of the ring. At that time, I asked for eternity, and he gave me a design in return. The body of the ring is a miniature version of the Mobius ring, which symbolizes eternity. The olive branch on the top seems to symbolize peace, but in fact it represents the endless growth of plants, forever and ever. Su Yiyen's eyes became slightly hot when she heard these words. Endless growth, forever and ever. What a moving 8 words. Chapter 183. Who's this guy you're talking about? His name is Hermes. He's a friend of mine and a famous jewelry designer. Su Yiyen was stunned when he heard the name. The internationally famous jewelry designer, Hermes James? Yes. You're friends with him? The internationally renowned jewelry tycoon was in his 40s or 50s. He was a completely different age group from Hua Chenhuan. Most importantly, in 2 years this tycoon, who once controlled the lifeline of the jewelry world, would pass away due to illness. Not long after his death, because he did not leave behind any descendants, the younger generation of the family's collateral branch fought over the inheritance he left behind. A terrible gunfight even broke out. In the end, most of the people died, and the rest ended up in prison. The jewelry tycoon collapsed and disappeared in the long river of history. It became a topic of conversation for many people. Su Yiyen had an impression of this name, because he had seen the relevant news report at the time. He had lamented the impermanence of the world. He did not expect these two to be friends. Then in 2 years, were friends despite the difference in age. Hua Chenhuan did not hide it. I met him by chance on a trip. We became friends because we hit it off. We've known each other for almost 10 years. Su Yiyen was shocked. So long? Yes. I mentioned this idea to him before, but I didn't let him put it into practice. I didn't expect him to have an idea in private long ago. He rushed to produce the finished product before I urged him. This was the main reason why the diamond ring could appear in front of them so quickly. When Hua Chenhuan asked Zui Yanbai to contact Hermes, he was a little worried that there would not be enough time for him to finalize the draft and produce the finished product. He did not expect that the finished product would be delivered a few days after he mentioned it to him. There was also a letter that told him that the wedding ring was in the process of being produced. It would definitely be completed before their wedding, and there was no need to worry. Although Hua Chenhuan did not mention Hermes much, Su Yiyen could feel a sense of closeness. It was obvious that the two of them had a good relationship. After all, there were very few people in this world who could be considered friends by Hua Chenhuan. Why did you suddenly think of proposing? We're about to get married. That day, I promised your father that as long as it's someone else's, I won't take anything less. So you thought of proposing? The proposal is very important. I don't want to have any regrets. This regret was not only for Su Yiyen, but also for himself. Su Yiyen looked at the diamond ring on her finger. She had to admit that Hua Chenhuan was right. Even though she knew that they would get married soon, she still couldn't help but feel a little happy when such a surprise suddenly appeared. This was a little romance that he had planned completely on his own initiative. It was worth treasuring for her for the rest of her life and slowly savoring it in the future. The fireworks outside the courtyard were still going off. They had already transitioned from the previous roses to various characters and languages of Yin Yen, I love you. It was really simple and crude, but she liked it. After the two of them watched the fireworks, they walked around the manor twice. Su Yiyen realized that not only were the flowers that she liked planted in the manor, but the decoration and the overall layout were also the type that she liked. Chapter 184. Oh no! Su Yiyen's face changed greatly. Why is it so late? Hua Chenhuan reminded her at the right time. It was already past 8 when you woke up. Wouldn't it be 12 o'clock after eating and taking a stroll? Su Yiyen wanted to cry but had no tears. No, I have to go home. My parents will go crazy if they don't see me back so late. It's not safe to go out to sea so late. Su Yiyen suddenly froze. Indeed, it was very dangerous to go out to sea in the dark. Then I'll call my parents and inform them. Where's my cell phone? Su Yiyen rummaged through her clothes for a long time, and finally found her cell phone in her jacket pocket. She opened it. No. Yes. No. Why is there no signal here? Hua Chenhuan's face didn't change. The terrain is remote, and we haven't had time to install a signal receiver. Assistant Zhua, who had installed a shielding device early in the morning and blocked all the signals on the island, was very famous. Then what should we do? It's okay. Hua Chenhuan held Su Yiyen's hand and comforted her. Before we came, I asked Xiaoyang to report your whereabouts to your parents. Your parents should know that you're here now, and that you're going to stay here tonight. They won't worry. Su Yiyen wasn't comforted at all. Instead, she looked at Hua Chenhuan sadly. No, you asked Xiaoyang to tell them. They may be more worried now. Hua Chenhuan laughed. What are they worried about? That I'll eat you? Su Yiyen curled her lips. That's not impossible. You've already proposed. You should ask for some reward, right? That's because they don't know my physical condition. Su Yiyen was slightly stunned. Just when she was about to comfort him, she heard him say, but it's not impossible to ask for other rewards. It's my negligence. Thank you for reminding me. Su Yiyen. Did she dig a hole and bury herself in it? Hua Chenhuan looked at Su Yiyen's slightly sluggish expression, and knew that she couldn't tease her too much. She comforted her. It's just one night. It's okay. It's late. Let's go upstairs and check out the rooms. I'll send you back tomorrow morning. Su Yiyen sighed and compromised. That's the only way. The two of them and the dog went upstairs. At first, Su Yiyen was a little worried that Hua Chenhuan would ask to sleep in the same room as her. However, Hua Chenhuan took her directly to the master bedroom, and took Dun Dun to the guest room. Su Yiyen breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time, she was inexplicably a little disappointed. After a day of torment, Su Yiyen thought that she would fall asleep as soon as she touched the bed. She didn't know if it was because she had slept before or because too many unexpected things had happened that night. She lay on the bed for more than an hour, but she didn't feel sleepy at all. The weather on the island changed quickly. They were still watching the stars on the beach in the first half of the night. In the second half of the night, there was a sudden gust of wind, lightning, thunder and rain. Su Yiyen couldn't sleep anymore. She looked at the threatening curtains by the window. After hesitating for a moment, she got up and closed the window. But it couldn't block out the sound of the wind, lightning and rain outside the window. Just then, there was a sudden knock on the door of her room. Su Yiyen froze slightly. Hua Chenhuan had said that there were only the two of them in the manor tonight. Was it Hua Chenhuan who was knocking on the door, or Su Yiyen took a deep breath and walked over slowly? Chapter 185. Su Yiyen was shocked. She took a closer look and realized that it was Dun Dun. When she looked up again, she saw Hua Chenhuan's familiar figure. Unlike before he left, Hua Chenhuan was wearing light blue cotton pajamas, which made him look more casual and approachable. She looked prettier. Hua Chenhuan saw that she was staring at her, and took the initiative to break the silence. It's raining. Su Yiyen instantly sobered up. She smiled awkwardly and said, Yes, yes. There's thunder. Yes. Dundun seems to be a little afraid of thunder. He keeps coming over. Dundun is afraid of thunder. Su Yiyen blinked doubtfully and looked down at the little guy at her feet. Dundun. If he's afraid, then so be it. I'm used to being the scapegoat. Woof. Dundun barked sadly. Then, it threw itself on Su Yiyen's cotton slippers and shivered. If Gu Xiaoyang and the others were here, they would definitely sigh and say, "This dog has become a demon." Su Yiyen felt sorry for Dundun. She bent over and picked up the little guy. Then let him sleep in my room. After Su Yiyen finished speaking, she found that Hua Chunhuan was still at the door. She asked doubtfully, "Is there anything else?" "I'm afraid of thunder too, Su Yiyen." "What are you afraid of?" "During the time when I was with you, I encountered many thunderstorms, but I didn't see you being afraid." "How old are you? Are you still afraid of thunder?" "It has nothing to do with age." Su Yiyen's mouth twitched. She thought, "It has nothing to do with age. It has to do with how thick-skinned you are." At this time, Hua Chunhuan was obviously going to be thick-skinned to the end. "There's no one else in this house except you and me." She was implying that she was afraid of thunder, so she could only rely on her. "Then, let Dundun accompany you?" Dundun, who had been acting for a long time and was about to be stuffed back in again. "It's scared and I'm scared. If we stick together, we'll be even more scared. Are you still playing 1 + 1 = 2 at this time?" Su Yiyen couldn't help but want to roll her eyes. She suddenly wanted to tell the person in front of her that she was actually afraid of thunder. However, in the current situation, it was clearly not feasible. "Then what do you suggest we do?" Hua Chunhuan's eyes flashed with a trace of a triumphant smile. "You already let Dundun stay in your room. You shouldn't mind having one more person, right?" Su Yiyen. "Who said I don't mind? Dundun is Dundun, you are you. How is it the same?" "That's not good, is it? I don't sleep well." As soon as he said this, Hua Chunhuan couldn't help but laugh. "What are you thinking? I just want to borrow the floorboards in your room to sleep on the floor." Su Yiyen was stunned, and her face uncontrollably turned red. Oh my God. What did she just say? Cough, I'm not thinking of anything. "You have a good room to sleep in, but you want to sleep on the floor in my room? In this kind of weather, aren't you afraid of freezing to death? There's a heating system in the house." Su Yiyen choked. "But there's no spare quilt. The spare quilt is in the bottom right corner of the wardrobe. There's a cover and a cushion." Su Yiyen. "You're so well prepared. I suspect that you've been planning this for a long time, and it was premeditated. Even if you have all these things, it's still..." Before Su Yiyen could finish, Hua Chunhuan interrupted her. "What are you afraid of?" "What?" Chapter 186. Su Yiyen felt inexplicably guilty under his gaze. She subconsciously took a step back and said sternly, No. Since you didn't take me in, it shouldn't be a problem, right?" Su Yiyen opened her mouth and was about to say something when she heard Hua Chunhuan say, "You said before that I should ask for a reward for my successful proposal. The reward I want is to sleep on the floor in your room. This request isn't too much, right?" Su Yiyen. "I have nothing to say." In the end, Su Yiyen was persuaded by him. Well then. But I have to say in advance that sleeping in the same room is just sleeping in the same room. Don't do anything unnecessary. Although we are about to get married, there are some things that can only be done after marriage. These things were not just that kind of thing. Although Su Yiyen usually kissed and hugged Hua Chunhuan, she was actually quite conservative. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been unable to resist every time she was flirted with. A smile flashed across Hua Chunhuan's eyes. She responded obediently, "Okay." Su Yiyen turned around and put the Dundun aside first. Then, she helped Hua Chunhuan find a spare quilt. After quickly laying it down, she hurriedly turned on the circulating heating system. In just a few minutes, the room was much warmer. "It's all done. Go to sleep." Su Yiyen had just helped Hua Chunhuan lie down when she immediately went back to her bed. She covered her head with the quilt and didn't move. A few minutes later, Su Yiyan secretly poked her little head out and asked in a low voice, "Are you still awake?" She thought that she wouldn't get a reply. Unexpectedly, in the next second, she heard a low voice from below. Yes. Su Yiyan was startled. She quickly shrank back into the quilt and shouted as if her butt was on fire. "Sleep early. Good night." Perhaps it was because she felt more at ease with someone by her side, or perhaps it was because she was a little tired after the commotion caused by Hu Qinhuan. At first, Su Yiyan didn't know how to deal with this awkward situation, so she hid. But as she hid, she fell asleep in a daze. Because of this, she missed a certain someone's gaze that was still shockingly bright in the dark night, filled with gentleness and love, and that gentle and heart-stirring good night, at the end. Outside the window, the rain was still falling. Even the howling wind and roaring thunder were not enough to disturb the tranquility of the room. Dundun was curled up in its kennel in the corner of the room. It looked around. Even though the two of them were not doing anything, it still felt like a lot of dog food was being thrown at its face. To have two masters like these, it was really too difficult. Su Yiyan slept very soundly. Even the storm outside did not disturb her in the slightest. In the end, she was woken up by the noise outside the door. "Young Master Su, please calm down." "Calm down. My biological sister has been kidnapped. How do you expect me to calm down? Where's my sister? And where's Hu Qinhuan? Tell him to get out here. Brother?" Su Yiyan heard this voice and instantly woke up. Her body reacted faster than her brain. She jumped off the bed and ran to open the door. At this time, Su Yuxuan and the others just happened to walk over to her side. Unexpectedly seeing the door open, they were all shocked. Su Yuxuan was the first to react. Just as he was about to show a surprised expression, he saw someone behind his sister. The expression on his face suddenly froze. Then it became gloomy, angry, and as dark as the bottom of a pot. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.